And we're live. Welcome. Today, punctual as usual, I'm really happy to welcome Jeff and Gitesh that will, the two of them, let us know many things about, their project, what they like, what they do, what they maybe don't like to do, win, fails, and, dope stuff. Guys, how are you doing, Jeff?
Good, how are you?
Doing good as well. Trying to, a bit tired because we've had 3 days off in France, so I had to rest my days off, but doing fine. Gitesh?
I'm good as well.
Nice.
Excited for the stream.
My pleasure, be my guest. A few 4 words in French. Le stream est en anglais. On a des invités qui nécessitent qu'on parle anglais. Je sais qu'il y aura des petites galères d'accent, que ce soit de mon côté, du vôtre. Let's try hard. Let's do this. And I hope you will enjoy and that our English mates will be able to, for once, enjoy the stream without reading subtitles. And I will try to speak slowly because otherwise I choke. Cool. So now a few words about our plan tonight. And I've not associated my screen share yet. Yeah, screen share. Sorry for that. And Regie OBS side screen share. Cool. So viewers, as always, please do tell me if the sound level are either if someone is too loud, too low, if the music is too loud. Should be okay, but just let me know as usual. Today, our roadmap is the following. We'll start with a gentle introduction of who these cool fellows are. 4 words about the English stream, you got it, we're there. Show the plan, we're even more there. Chat a bit about what they do, either for a living or outside of that, like what led them to tech. We'll then start our journey with Grroxy. So what it is, long story short, it's the proxy we want to use in a short time. We'll then go way deeper into Grroxy to see how it's made and what are the potential improvements and choice taken during the whole prototyping and architecture thing. Small security bonus because you'll see that I tried Grroxy and also tried to, hack the hacker tool and gave me quite a lot of resistance. So that was good news for me because no pen tester nor hacker likes being pwned using offensive tools. And of course, end up with roadmap, future decisions, what were maybe a funnier part with wins and fails. And maybe 1 hour 20 in, then we will switch to mise en place, which is the tool I use all the time, and that is built-in mainline in Ubuntu distribution that some of you now use. Same. What it is, what it's used for, how it's made, what being a maintainer means and not mise, right? And same as Grroxy, Back to the Future. So speaking about the roadmap, maybe trying to open the 3 of us a few issues to see how things could be handled, improved, or just change over time. And we'll wrap that up with a general conclusion and question and answer for all of us. And I see already quite a few reactions in the chat. So as always, thanks you for all the regular. Even more for those that I know are not English friendly that well. Well, this syntax makes no sense, but you get the idea. Anyway, that's the plan. I hope you like it. Long story short, we go intro, human mode, chatty, Grroxy, deep dive, mise, what it is, deep dive. Works for you guys?
Sure.
Yeah, bon entendu.
And I hope we'll have a few French words from Jeff from time to time. Right, so I switched the scene again back to Facecam. So now that the plan is here, let's go a bit more casual. What led you first, Gitesh, to the tech world? Like, how long have you been coding, doing project on your own? How's life?
I think I'm in the coding part mostly. I started with HTML and CSS way back when I got my computer, and it was without internet, so that's the only thing they were teaching in the school, and I was like trying it when I come back home. So that's how I got interested in it.
So every time there's a new language framework, you just try to eat it, like bam, get used to
Yeah,
it, and
currently this is the stage. Anything there is new, I will go and try it out. Whether
well,
it's Rust or something new framework comes out, I try it out.
I think we're all there at some point, like just trying to eat as much as we can. And Jeff, do you comply? Do you agree with the?
Yeah. I started really young. I was, 5 or 6, and beyond all reason too, because I grew up on a farm in Oregon, and so my parents didn't have a computer. And when I was that age, like it was DOS. It was Windows wasn't out yet, and so you had to type everything in. Which I think now it's funny. Like that's how you and I work on computers. But
Well, we don't type. Well, yeah. we do, but less and less. I feel like we type less and less code, and that's.
Well, I mean the CLI interface versus the graphical one, right? Like that doesn't seem like it's going anywhere to me.
Like the old people getting like, hey, I hope in 10, 20 years we will not use CLI anymore, and nah.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Like in 2004, I was like, it's going to be IDEs and like, we don't need that anymore. But I don't know, the older I get, the more I go back to CLIs.
Well, the more you specify, the more you are sharp on a specific topic, the more you want the tool to do just the thing and do it right, not just have everything. Yeah. But yeah, well, clicking buttons is not the best way to redo safely what has been done a few times either. So GUI was fucked since the beginning. Like GUI were just doomed since they started. It was just not the right approach.
I don't know. I actually wonder if AI might affect this, right? Because I think that large language models in particular probably could be a lot more effective at interfacing with CLIs than they are with GUIs. Maybe I'm wrong, but
we'll probably see over time. Like, have you seen the small device, like a recent one, when you can plug it to your phone? Well, the device might have been an app, but it's not. It's just a device that will have the right understandings of the application layout and features, and you chat with your device, and the device takes actions on your phone.
That's cool. I want something that just records every conversation I have, and then I could just ask it what was it that I told this person 2 years ago? And it could just, remind me. I think that'd be amazing.
Actually, there is some draft work of this one that is pin AI. You've seen the commercial?
Does that?
Yeah, it's like a small pin you just add here. It will try to record everything you do, parse, index, use cloud services a lot. And the thing is that the next time you will go, I don't see Jason soon. I should invite him, but where? And the where will just query the database and say, hey, last time you ate sushi, and he said he really liked sushi, so invite him sushi to just have a good appearance that I like to remember what he said. And that's nice, but that's so dystopic at the same time.
And then you could be like, oh, and what was his girlfriend's name again? Or it could just remind you oh, his birthday is next week. It would be amazing.
But if somebody hacked you, they will know everything you said, everything will be
our phones, they already have everything and more. Mm-hmm. The way you sleep, if you had a good night, if you were bored with your girlfriend, family, or friends because you were texting in the meantime, they know everything already. That's scary. And yet we are here.
Everywhere you've been,
Yeah, everywhere we've been. Well,
it's always feel like someone is always watching. Even when I am working on my laptop, I always keep in mind that there is always going to be one guy at least who can view this stuff. So be careful.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I lint my code so I know that I'm a decent human. I just try to format it right away.
It's still all the encryption keys and all the things I wrote in a diary, physical diary.
Yeah, but like if really someone watches and has action power over what you do, we're fucked anyway. Like there's no point in, well, you can fight, but even if you have MFA and split device and everything, they have your email, they can re-enroll, they can enforce stuff. If someone has your phone or computer, if someone has your email, it's way too late. Yes. It's way too late. Well, anyway, people don't have our emails yet. Gitesh, do you want to say a few other words about what are the things you really like to do, being it IT or outside?
I mostly do everything in IT. So I really barely I do anything outside.
Checkmate. Same. Yeah.
In IT, I do different things. Right? I do design, I do development, and I do hacking. So that's quite variety I got. And if there are games, I barely like play multiplayer games, but I like Rocket League. I think it's the far more creative game. Yeah.
Have you seen yesterday night's stream, like the troll stream?
What?
Like yesterday at 9 p.m. France time, I just blasted a PHP leaking 0 day live because security failed anyway. Fuck it. And well, it's a common thing in France, like 1st of April, you just make random jokes, and IT or security companies do that a lot. And so I tried a small one, and it was, hey, we will leak PHP 0 day live. And when people came, some of in the chat were there. So it just turned out as Mobile Legends Bang Bang stream, like kind of Wild Rift, like League of Legends, like, but on the phone. It's like you want 0 day and you have someone playing not so good, but just that's what it is now. From security to live gaming.
I didn't got the point.
Someone in the chat. No problem. Someone in the chat didn't get that it was an April Fool, and so I think he did. No legs. And no, sorry, I'm not a regular MOBA streamer. Maybe someday in the future when my brain will be completely fried. Might come sooner than expected. And Jeff, what about you on your side? Before we jump to the tech, because we are close to 15 minutes in, I think people got the time to arrive. So tell us more about you, what you like, want to not do, and then we'll go to the Grroxy introduction.
Je suis en train d'apprendre français maintenant. J'ai 12 ans avec la langue. That's about as much as I could do right now. But yeah, I've actually, unrelated to meeting Luca, I've actually I've been to France 3 or 4 times the last 2 years, and just really have gotten into the culture and everything. And so that's been a big thing. I also have a daughter that's 4, and so I spend a lot of time taking her to the park and playground and swimming pool and stuff like that. And so basically my life is learning French and spending time with my 4-year-old and writing code.
Well, that's a nice life, I guess.
Yeah,
that's a nice life.
It's not so bad.
Yeah. Maybe a last word before we get started for real. I forgot to give some details, which is that we are doing a miracle here. We are having a live stream on 3 different time zones. So you in the chat already know we are, most of us in France. So it's like 9:15 right now. Jadix, at your time, it is?
It's 2:15 in the afternoon.
Okay, so half day. And Gitesh?
It's 0:44.
Yeah, so midnight plus. So you are the brave one here. You are the courageous one.
Wow, yeah.
So it means that
this is the usual time you will find me awake. It's usually the peaceful time in the house, nobody disturb you, and you can work.
I think that many people will relate. And actually, we do have someone from, a friend, a close friend from Romania in the chat, so let's spread more, boys. Let's spread.
Yeah,
Keep spreading.
all over the world here. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is. Some people in Canada from time to time, Quebec as well. All right, let's get started. Gitesh, are you okay and willing to share your screen with me?
Yes.
Can I stop my screen share? That way you have more bandwidth.
Yes. Just let me start.
Yeah, take
new
your time.
project.
Sure. Let's take some time checking the chat. What has been said? Hi, hello. Many regular followers. The backpack is fine, by the way. Versatile, how come the backpack is fine? Like, you are ready to come visit? That's nice. That's nice. I have a pretty expensive chair to lurk this stream I've never understood. We just made yesterday a gaming stream to be not technical. But maybe you were not there. Yeah, not too much to catch up. Oh, feel free in the chat to add or, well, just share the last cool news you've seen from April's Fools. That way we can share some with non-native French guests and show them that we have some. Oh, well, actually, not only French companies do that. Like Stack Overflow did that, and many companies that are not France-based or at all. They just try to comply with regular, how can I say, with local actions. Yeah. Gitesh, are you okay with me sharing your screen?
Yes, I already did.
Okay, yeah, but I will always ask again before switching. And you are live. 3, 2, 1. No. Wow. First question, can you zoom in a bit?
Yes.
On the interface. Lovely. Maybe one more scroll. Yeah. It will be enough.
Okay.
Cool. Do you want us to ask a few questions to kickstart it, or do you want to go through a quick demo and then we will ask questions at our own pace? And chatters, I re-invite you to ask questions. It's the right time. The project is recent. It's made to increase the roadmap and have cool ideas for the future.
Yeah, so I started. Let's intercept some requests and let's go with the flow.
Okay, cool. We can't see your browser. Okay, we can see the whole screen. It will be fine.
Yes.
Chat is not yet ready to visit, but I managed.
So currently this is empty, but as soon as I load the Firefox, some request starts appearing, if you see. So let's open.
Quick one before we are full in the demo. You just downloaded the Grroxy binary, ran it with no specific argument in the CLI, and just visited the localhost 5173 port to have the Grroxy interface served, right? No extra setup, just wget / voila.
Well, main users will get a button on their desktop and they just double click and this will open, right?
Right.
Just
Go
like,
means
any
Go
other
means works
application.
on Linux, Windows, everything else. For now, it's Linux only.
Yes. There would be a desktop icon.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, this is my desktop. It's
Actually, we can't see your desktop. Well, it's black.
you can't see.
Yeah. No, don't stop sharing. Just go with the demo. The desktop, we don't care much. It's just to have some insight about the install process to follow.
Sure. So guys, we just loaded some requests here, right? And maybe a little bit smaller or zoomed in.
Like so is okay. Not well. Wait. Is it? I was on the wrong screen. Nah, I think one
I can't see you
more.
guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
slightly more should be necessary. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay guys, so this is quite similar interface that you are friendly with in the old software, right? The main thing that you can see that we are using a good use of colors because we can see them, and in the host names we are showing the favicon. So wherever we found the favicon, we are going to show it. This is the history tab. Currently we are in the proxy. Uh, Similarly, if there is not a favicon, we just replace it, and it's quite visual. What is the target? And like this is the Facebook. And if we go to the sitemaps, things already start appearing here. Sitemap is here, and keys control is here, right? So you can directly start browsing in sitemap. Uh, Still, the only change in the sitemap is basically this favicon icon, and we can detect the tag. So if it's a PHP file or it's a v3 uh, in your path, so it highlights you that this is API endpoint like that, and it does for GraphQL and other kind of technologies as well that we can detect by
So you
creating
enrich. So you
filter.
enrich as much as you can with meme types being sniffed or specified, with the favicon, with the technologies being used, but it's like extension based, or you already have some sort of sniffing in place.
Yes, so currently it is coded in the binary, but later on it will be user customizable. And I will go in a little bit after explaining other things. We will go into the filters, and I will show you guys how you will able to customize it in the future.
Okay.
And very soon, like before the public release, I believe this would be implemented for everyone.
Do you have
Currently,
it's really early
yes.
to ask that, but do you already have a due date for the release date?
No, no. Actually, I announced it way back that it would be open source like in Jan. So it should be open source by in Feb or by now. But the more I realized that there is work left to done, and refactoring of code need to be done very
Yeah.
like neat and very in such a way that other people able to contribute it, right? It should not be like they understand they take the time, understand the code base, and it got changed after 1 month, right? That would be like a killer move.
Yeah. Running the final polish to have something people can work on and improve, and just in a way you don't end up in a state where you have tons of good PR with cool code, but you have to change, and you will know that we have to do the work twice. First work and then
Yes.
port the code. Yeah. So of course, take the time needed, and looking forward to the open sourcing day.
Yes, so that's why I thought let's take time before releasing it, so everything like arrange for this basically. And so I want when people try it first time, it clicks, right? They shift to this. They don't try a kind of beta things. They try something that is more stable, and they can see that what are the major changes that Grroxy brings in the whole flow that they are already friendly with.
So trying to dodge a too early GA and bad feedbacks, just offer something working smoothly since the first day or close to it.
What?
Sorry. You are trying to really dodge releasing the project too early and then suffering from potential bad reviews, because you know it can become a gem, so better take the time and have a smooth release process. And
Yes. So I believe it's not the case that if I release it today and people will try it, it will broke, and sometimes it don't work, which happens with the beta users, and especially for Linux and Mac OS, is because I don't try the software directly in them. I try it here in Windows, and I use VM to try in Linux. Everything works fine, but one thing or another got broke in other person's computer, right? So that is the thing that I thought that let's wait before releasing it. Let's fixes these things, basic things, then we will move on. And it's not like it will take 1 year to refurbish the whole product, right? It's not the case. I think it's currently this version, I think when you will try it, it's quite smoother than the previous versions. And things will start getting stable from here on now with these versions.
Well, things will get stable with more user, automated tests. But there is one thing you say that I really like is that you don't want the project to hurt your users in any way. Like you want it to have safe links, safe maybe uninstall methods or something, because this really reminds me of Counter-Strike. The installation on Counter-Strike Linux has had Steam, actually not Counter-Strike, Steam, had one small detail that variable was sometimes not resolved the right way, and trying to uninstall Valve Steam was just causing the full computer to wipe. Think about it. You are using Steam. Well, you know you should not have done that on a specific laptop, like maybe a work one, and you realize that too late. You want to remove Steam because you know you fucked up, and you have a white laptop with nothing left on it, and you have to justify that.
Yes. So
trying to not hurt users, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there are really horror stories regarding these kind of stuffs as well. Beta apps are like currently I think now all the companies that offer beta, so when they have a private beta, this is the stage where they try really, they're just putting out the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well,
if it's a beta, it runs in a VM. Safe and sound.
Yes. But usually some products are not like that.
Yeah. Some people already deemed the beta state to be close to production grade and improve from that.
Yes. Good thing is that now more and more products are becoming cloud-based, so they just run in your browser and smoothly. Or just a wrapper of a desktop app.
Yeah. And ideally, you try it in a Docker with your UI that is nothing else but a web page. And if something breaks, you just Docker remove basta. No trouble.
Yes. So going back to the screen,
yeah,
there are currently, if you guys can see, we have the main meme type here. We can clearly see this is tag, this is image, but still we have an icon. Like this is an image icon. Why do we have that, right? What is the difference does that make? The difference is it's like, check this one, right? This thing don't have a meme type, but the extension here we use is .jpg, which is an image type, right? Which help you, which now you can see, because there is no meme time, but still you can see that this is a JPG and image format. So similarly for others, so now this thing has v3 in it, right? So that's why we are showing that this is an API endpoint. If they have like GraphQL, we can show that this is JS. We are showing this, and we are also in Grroxy highlighting the params wherever possible.
Yeah, the UI really is pushed to a level that makes things quite easy and fast to see.
Yes.
Well, at least on the proxy tab for now, because on my memory, when playing in the playground, there were some things not always too clear, but probably being worked on in between.
In the proxy tab, intercept?
Not in the proxy nor intercept, but more in the page where you send either a repeater or intruder, so fuzzing and repeater tabs. And it was back then not already too easy to differentiate them. But you've just added so many hints that are probably the same on the playground.
Got it. Yeah, we will get to that soon. So these are the filters we will, I think, first I will intro all the pages, then we will go into the filters. Filters are the complex, and I think will be the whole story of our stream today. I think this is quite complex for people to understand. People still don't able to understand this because I have not created the docs. I will start creating them very soon. So as you said, send to repeater. So now same what we were doing previously, send to repeater. Now here this is the change. So now you can see that this says intruder and this says repeater. This is the change, right?
So not yet an indicator on the left tab, like at the left of playground, maybe to have R or I or F. Yeah, R or I, because you have it on the tab above, but we don't have it yet on the left of playground, which would be quite convenient, I guess.
here, putting here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so the design choice that I use here, the reason behind this is, I think it's mostly an story of an endpoint when you are hacking, right? So let's say you go to this particular thing. The first instinct was send to repeater. Let's try it something out, right? You send it to repeater. You came here. You start playing with the parameter values, putting it out, different versions, like that, right? And it's an integer. You start trying to an intruder, right? Basically, this is the request that you are playing with, and when you want to start an intruder for this request, you just go here and start an intruder. Now, by default, these two things are bind.
Wow.
So,
okay,
yes.
so within a single endpoint, you then have specific tools or workflows for the initial endpoint.
Yes, yes. So basically, it's that's how we hack, right? We are going on repeater, and then we realize we need to send this request to intruder. Then we send it to intruder, but what will happen is now there is no connection that this request is linked to this intruder. Right? This way, playgrounds are a group of all the tools. So there would be a command tool going to be very soon, right? Which will let you send the request to any other tool. Let's say Arjun, you want to send your command to Arjun and find the hidden parameters. You will just create plus button, select Arjun, and same different interface will appear, and you will able to try that out. And everything will remain group, right? So you remember that this is where you were playing, this was the playground, and all those tools that you are trying on that endpoint is grouped together already.
Quick question on the chat. Someone asks if Grroxy uses Electron.js, and I think it does not. Like, it's just a regular web UI. It's not a standalone application, right? You do not rely on Electron.js or Photon. You just render a web application like you would do for a production site, and not a client.
So Electron, no, not Electron. There is new thing which is WebView, right? Which is what WebView does is Electron embedded the whole browser, and you have to download every time. And you download an Electron application, you download a whole browser, right?
Well, a web browser minus the security goodies.
Yes, yes. So what WebView does is it just just like you open a link, it's open in a new tab. So whatever the browser you have installed, WebView automatically take that browser's page and load the UI in it, right? Which saves us the time.
So
the space,
the same thing as a
memory.
single page application, or like regular. I mean, it could have been in Vue, React, or something similar. It's just a web application.
Yes, it's a web application. But now the difference is it's not a browser. We are just viewing a page, right? So all the restriction that applies, I think, applies here as well.
So you mean about core CSP and all, or other restrictions?
Not codes, like there won't be any utilization of that.
What kind of limitation or restrictions apply in this case, like in this context?
No restriction and nothing else, right? So what we are doing is dividing the front end from front end HTML and CSS and JS. These three things are the best for creating the front end currently that we have, right? Even we are using these technologies to build mobile applications. So we are separating these two parts. First, we got the web view where we can load our front end. Now in the Golang, I created an API that is talking to the web view. So just like a website, we have a server in the Golang, and these two things are connected.
Okay.
Right? And there is a Rails.js, and which is a Golang framework, and there is Story framework, which is Rust, which is for Rust, right? And these two things are quite. You can see these are the very new things, and people are shifting to these very quickly.
Okay. So we have to keep an eye on it, Golang wise and front end wise.
Yes. So these two things are combining the whole application.
Okay.
But
And
Grroxy mostly going to use it as how do I tell? So Grroxy have its own API which connected. So there is not much use of Whales besides just loading the application in the one exe file.
okay, gotcha. So back to the demo.
Okay, so this is same. This is just very easy. This is the URL. It changed the favicon icon same. You can shift to HTTP1, HTTP2. The new things here are the checks. So if you want to disable a line, you just click on the checks and send it, and you can see. So if you want to disable the cookie, just disable it and send it. This is the change.
That's
and
nice.
If you want to,
like for some tools. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yes. You can duplicate using Control-Shift-D, which are all the editor's shortcuts I have implemented it, and you can hide and unhide, right? Comment or uncomment, check or uncheck, whatever you want to call it. You can use this using the CMD part. So just let's say you payload one, right? You tried the payload one. Now just duplicate this, try the payload 2 and hide the first bar.
That's too cool. The time saved here compared to the other equivalents is lovely. I will have 2 lines and either have a toggle to outside of it or just like code aside to copy paste. This one's really gold.
Toggle for what?
Like for the same use case on other tools, I will have to either copy paste code really often or have like maybe Agverter or similar to have one Boolean and use one of the 2 payloads depending on the Boolean and then have the content type being updated later on. So having the checkbox just makes so much sense, like utilization wise. Makes so much sense.
Like for other tools, you have to like change that particular value, right? So if I undo this, so if they have something, let's say cache control, right? You will change this value again and again and send it. But there is no list that says that what value you have sent and what you have not sent. Right? That's the whole difference regarding this. So here you can see in the list, right? You don't need to delete it. You just hide it and can see that what you have sent and what you have tried, what you have already tried. It's always going to remain here.
So it builds a word list while you are trying things out, and you can reuse, export.
Yes. So this comes from my habit that whenever I'm trying a new code, I comment the first one and try the new one. I think most of the people do like that.
So you can keep your test incremental, like you test a few things and you can get back another day and all the notes kind of are already taken inside the software per design.
Yes. I think we came to repeat it too soon, but let's continue from here. Okay. So let's go back to the proxy dev or the history dev. Here we have this side inspector. So there are a few things. First, this is label. Every request that is coming, it going automatically applied with the labels, and these labels you can see in the organized panel automatically populate when requests come. So when I click on version 1, so there is a glitch. Let's reload the page.
That's actually a nice feature. Like if anything breaks, reload.
No, that's a bad feature.
That's a quick fix, but for body software, I wish
that's a quick fix for a user, right? And I will never able to know that the software got broke at this point. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right. So user will never report it. He will be like controller, and I will be like everything is working fine. But actually there are bugs in that case.
Monitor the refresh rate at user side.
So as you guys can see, we have the endpoint. When I click on version 3, it shows the request that already tagged with the version 3, and you can see the tag here. It also added the extension that is for .css, as we can see here, which is not useful, and text CSS. Right. The interesting part is this thing has a param in it, right? So that's the thing. That's why we are not hiding it in the media and CSS. When we saw this, if any request has the param,
Nice.
it would be visible to you guys, right? No matter if it's an image, video. So for the API endpoints which are delivering the image or anything else which is not useful generally, meme type is CSS image, but it has parameters, then you maybe like to try it out.
Can you show again like the whole filtering pane with the code editor and filters we had? Like the one with the whole code pane. Yeah, this one. Okay, it looks really nice. Like, can people build filters or macro that people that they could share or reuse? Like, we have many image type, and we might think about rules that would help someone hack specific software if they use it on the tool, like export or import set of rules or macro in here.
Yes. Definitely, I will explain that in a like at the end, because filters is going to be the complex part here.
I should interrupt last. Sorry.
No. It's nice, but I will explain soon.
Cool.
I think audience are going to have the same questions in their mind.
Probably.
Yes. So these are the organization panel. All the meme type that's are coming in, it's got added here, and currently you can see it's not grouped because application JSON and these are the same things, but I didn't group it. I want to group it, but I also want to give a drop down where I can see the different exact meme types that was I grouped it. Recently I was come across a target which was like there was some configuration error. It types content type colon and there was the meme type goes, but that thing was printing content type again. So here it was like content type colon and the whole thing, and I go to that request and the whole thing was this whole part was repeated here, right? So I think it's this some configuration can be visible only if you can see the raw data also. Right, it need to be organized, but you can always able to see that what's behind it.
Well, that's the eternal trade-off. Do you want something that is easy to read or exhaustive in terms of results? And having both is nice, but we require some way to have either clustering of findings or maybe globbing system to cluster by type. But totally worth having. Duplicating a header means trying to read either a different backend or hitting it differently, or just too many things can go wrong there.
Yes. So yes, because it's interesting. That's what anyone is looking for, right? That's why this happened. And okay, the endpoints are the interesting one. Like it have, if we load the Twitter, I don't think we did previously.
Yeah. Oh my God, you are sharing live hacking real website. Wow.
We are just loading the content.
Yeah. Well, if we find something critical on the first login page of Twitter without digging, but just by demoing a tool, it's deserved. Like, it's truly deserved.
Not sure if that's possible.
Yeah, so, I hope it's not. Well, happened once with a bank, but not live streaming, hopefully.
It's cool. It knows it's GraphQL right away.
So just by looking at the URL, this icon, that this is the GraphQL, and in the endpoint it already created the GraphQL tag for you guys to filter around it, right? And this works very simple. If I add a API here, so it checks just for the API, and now we have an API endpoint, right? Because this was fake, it's like this, but we have it here.
Oh.
Is it just taking the first part of the endpoint? the
No,
hosting name?
anywhere.
Oh, okay.
So if I add anything, so here
But so
is
if you fuzz a path, like how does it behave if you try to attack, let's say, weird Java semicolon / path? Like, does it mess up the whole tree list of the scope, or is it still supported in a way?
everything is related to filters. I will go through them once we started that. Everything is going to be currently.
Yeah.
It's like if it contains /API anywhere in the URL, just add it. Currently
Okay.
it's like that, but
Okay.
soon you will able to customize it because we have the API filters also like this. So
Nice.
if it contain API version 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, GraphQL, Swagger, edit, modify, token, delete, open, and there could be other modes, right? I am just put these as a quickly, but there would be other modes that you want to group them together.
Well, the macro potential improvement or add-on.
Yes, and this thing need to be user customizable, these templates, so you
Yep.
guys can create your own templates and share with the community and apply it anywhere you want, like that. Now let's say organizing, right? This tab name is organized. This could be like if we don't have these three things, this could be anything else, right? Maybe just categorized it. But real organizing is when you get the data and on the go you're able to organize the request as per user's choice. When I am seeing the details, let's say this anything, any point, I find this interesting, right? I just going to type interesting and I can see that there is a label already called interesting, right? I clicked it, I goes back, I click interesting. This row is now in the interesting row.
Wow. So you can have like to do, work in progress, someone else like user one is doing something, and you can have like live task sharing and organization the right way.
Yes, so let's say later on some tool can apply reflected param. Now we got a new param, a new label here, and this row is tagged here. Right. And the cool thing is the previous one what we have tag is already here. Interesting is already here.
That's nice. That's nice. So you have like reflected XSS something, and if you have like you add one tag every time, you can have. Okay, can we have like can I say that? Natural language filtering on these tags. Like I want everything that contains API and does not match JPEG and also contains interesting.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the core. That's the core of the whole Grroxy. The filter is going to be the whole backbone of the Grroxy. The filter and their syntax, they have syntax, and I will just go very soon there. Now let's say these are, you are just tagging, right? It could be like, let's say you found something, you found this is weird, so you just type weird and just add it. Now in the weird, it's this request has added, and very soon you can able to select these rows and apply it fully directly. So these all rows that you have selected will be applied. You can apply the particular label.
So you can multi-tag on this view, so in the proxy view, probably in the other view as well. And can you like pick many issues, many requests, and right-click, send all to intruder or all to repeater?
Yes.
Nice.
Right click and send all to repeater and in a group as well. So this is the organization. What else we can do is we have marking, right? Severity. If I go, I found this a severity. I just use this exclamation mark and type high. and select hi. Now this request has added to the I, but rest of them are empty. It works like that, right? And all the other texts are already there. Version 4 application, it sync across all the everywhere, right? And in the playground, when they are going to be linked, right? We are going to link this playground to a particular request. We'll be able to see the favicon here. I think now you will get why I want to link it and why
Yep.
I want to show the original request tab here.
I totally agree on the no favicon nor spacey image on the left side, but still having the same playground and beginning of the URL 3 times helps us in no way to identify which endpoint is being tested. So maybe show the last part, or rename for sure, but trying to auto-generate a meaningful name here will totally make sense. Because
I agree. I don't know what you do.
I know.
There's no way to tell the difference between these three.
Even if we can rename, we can always rename repeater tabs, but people do not do that, and it gets messy right away. So having some kind of the same like when you have an i3 pane, not an i3, tmux pane or tmux tab or something. When you switch, it will try to either pick the program name. Maybe here having the subdomain being attacked and the start of the path or the start of the query might make more sense. Or even having the 2-line like domain, small carriage return and pass and query, if not too long.
Supabase does this thing where when you use the SQL queries, like if you clone a SQL query, it will actually use a large language model to figure out what you're trying to do, right? So just based on reading the SQL query itself, I don't know if you'll see a demo of it here, unfortunately, but like just imagine a SQL query, but on the left side where it shows the title, it'll generate a title based on what it thinks that query is doing. Which is very cool.
He can't rely on that. Like every tab will be like buggy feature, but
right,
like on the website
it's a lot
way.
harder here. Yeah. With the SQL query, it's easy because it's obvious what you're doing, but with these, wouldn't work.
Well, might that to some extent, but there is little room for sure.
I was actually thinking, let me go to Figma.
Wow. We'll see design plans. Dun, 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 dun.
So, where we are. Let's say this is the highlighted one currently. I'm thinking to paste the URL here. https let's say apple.com/GraphQL.
So just either write it a bit smaller, or there are pretty ways to mangle URLs in a way that it makes sense. Like HTTPS, we can have just one specific symbol. We could have the whole URL on 2 lines with scheme and domain up and pass and query down. Might be enough.
So like also the path here in the next line, and maybe next line we can show the query if it exists or not.
What would be the third line? Oh, the query, like domain, pass, and query on 3 lines. Yeah. Might make sense. Well, there is a tips from Neolex in the chat that says we first should just get rid of playground, which totally makes sense.
Yes. Yes, I understand that we don't need to include the word playground. I just initially actually, if we add new, it's add random characters, right? Previously, I thought of adding the 1, 2, 3, but
So yeah, stripping the playground part, having I really think that HTTPS could be replaced by a small favicon similar to the proxy tab. That way, like we do only HTTPS. It's either safe or unsafe. So like color code or small favicon might do the trick.
You mean a lock icon and that?
Either lock or just like H and HS maybe, like for HTTP and HTTPS. Like an H and small indice S to say or lock, just a lock, but like green and not so
mostly
green.
in browser. If you go, be able to tell like with this and where did the lock icon go.
Yeah.
Previously there used to be a lock icon.
Yeah, but they get rid of it because now hackers can have the same green lock. Let's encrypt, yay, and more. But yeah, the idea you have is quite cool. Green for HTTPS and gray for HTTP. Gray is nice. I don't like to see yellow, red colors all the time, but green and gray might do the trick, or light blue and gray.
Yeah, I think yes, something like that. It's something that users will help me to understand that what works and what not.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. That.
Thanks. This is one thing. And instead of these random string, I think number would be a much better. Like everything having an index, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that index really helps, I think.
Index, or might be nice to generate the small suffix, but time-based, like something where when you look at your request, you know that at 3 p.m. you were working on something. Nice. And so it might be easier to just get back to the specific time you were, like you check your Discord or IRC chat or anything, you're like, oh yeah, 3 p.m. we were doing that, so that's what broke prog.
Yes. Recent time. Show recent time.
Yeah, just like either time or request and info.
Remove playground. Yeah, yes, what? Recent type or?
Just like, like hour, minute should be enough. Hours and minutes should be enough. Or maybe 2 or 3 first.
Show recent clicked. Or last click. Show last click, I guess. So last time.
Last click might be nice, but unless you have a shortcut to switch to previously used playground tab, like to have one click to go repeater 1, repeater 2, repeater 1, repeater 2. If you do not have that, the last time click is not really... Oh, I get what you meant. Not only the last playground you click, but the last time you opened it?
Yes, last time.
That's... Yeah, we have to try. Not sure.
Yeah, these are all things.
One of the things that we did at Heroku that I thought was really clever is when you generated a new app, you didn't have to give it a name, and it would give you what we call a haiku, which isn't really a haiku. It's just like, it's like an adjective and then a random adjective and a random noun. And so it'd be like rough snowflake 1, 2, 3, or nameless star, or, just you just pick a random adjective and then a noun. And then that way it's like, it's sort of like your random text you have, but it's something that's like obviously memorable. And so you can sort of tell the difference, even though it's like just an arbitrary name.
And then you watch at your playground tabs and you think they are Docker names. And you're confused.
Yeah, because it'll because you don't have to remember like, oh, is this the one I created at 12:22 or anything like that, or it's not like, oh, this is the second and the third. You're looking, and it's like, oh, this is dark star, and this one is
But when there are some site which shows like you opened this 3 minutes ago or you opened this just now. Right. So I think that little things.
A relative time?
Yeah.
Yeah, relative time.
Relative time, like n minutes ago.
Yes, relative time. So in Figma, I don't know if this thing going to have show versions. Not here, but in the comments, I guess. Yeah, see, it shows 3 months ago, right? So something like that.
Yeah.
That might help.
One other suggestion from Nolex was show only the URL of the last request sent, but as it's already endpoint based. Gitesh, can you take the microphone a slightly farther from your beard? We are having like nice ASMR right now. Nice, thanks.
You say from your bird?
Sorry.
No, but
Do you say from your bird? Beard.
Beard. Yeah, beard. Yeah. At least we have one English native speakers out of 3.
I can't correct anybody though, because my French is way worse. Une barbe.
Not too far. Une barbe.
Okay. And what was the other session?
Wow, that was prototype fast.
Which one?
The prototype was fast, but there is also the thing we said about favicon for HTTPS or HTTP to save even more space.
Yeah, not a favicon, but
not favicon, but like
that, right?
Yeah, same. Not the website favicon, but something smally sized. Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the demo.
Yes, back to the demo.
This is a fun problem though. It's a fun UI problem to try to solve.
Yeah.
Yes. And these type of things you can never get right until user give you the feedback, right? Either you are using the whole software daily, or either whoever using the whole software daily regularly, they can give you that. I still don't able to find, right? You added this feature, this cool, but it doesn't help me.
Yeah, but I think you've already done a great job. Like I'm not a security guy, and so a lot of this stuff I would have never thought of. You know, like when you're showing like the enabling and disabling of certain headers, like I would have never thought to do that. But like it's clear that you've like used these tools a lot, so you know like a lot of what they need. And so I think, you know, there's just that last 10% that you'll have to figure out through experimentation like that. I think you're on the right track.
Is the check uncheck features inspired from Postman?
Yes, Postman. And I think you guys never noticed, but console, I think best UI design ever. Like very great. So if I go
you
to
can even
styles,
debug and add your own mods easily if needed. Yeah, as well.
you see?
Yeah, but its requests are really thought like Postman does that for header straight away. So
Yeah, previously I was thinking like to add it like the Postman, right? Should I divide it? Divide these in the whole input boxes for each header name and each header value, like Postman.
yeah, it would be
But
too
I
heavy
thought,
with boxes.
yeah, but it's not usable, right? This is what is usable. So I coded this custom extension by learning the code mirror, and now it works finally. It's like that.
Nice.
Okay, we are back here. We were here explaining this, right? Now, if you want to add to the folder, right, this request, all you need to do is type with this and new folder. Okay, something happened.
Oh, you're like prefix that will have specific actions at tag level?
Yes, sir. At tag level, you see, we have here folders, right? The last piece of the puzzle. Folders. You can add things to folders, and currently we are showing different slashes like here, but later on these will be converted into the drop downs. So if I go to the proxy, I just type new folder, edit, and new folder is created right here. Right. Also, like for changing the color, like this comes to the white color. Let's type folder 3. Right. Yeah, you can just type rewrite it, right? Folder 4, folder 4, folder 4, folder 4, and it just changes the color. So because we need to be quicker,
Yeah.
right? Our
Optimize
users,
stuff.
I think, in the hacking we have everyone is a power user.
Well, if you do not do something that can be used fast, people will create mods to use it fast. So better offer the right option first try. Like if you do not code that small shortcut feature, someone will maybe code a macro or a browser extension so we can add that. So that's even better to offer the right features ahead of time to make things efficient on your UI.
Yes, and these things would be really useful. Like currently, people don't use these things because they doesn't exist, or they exist in a very complex form in the current software that people use, right? In Grroxy, I'm solving all of that problem because it's quite a clutter how these tools don't manage to show data properly, how they can show and how it should be since the beginning, basically. You can add note for anything, just type it out and go back. Currently it's lagging, I think. Maybe load. Actually, we have quite a thing. I have quite a thing loaded open in the background.
Yeah. I think we can, unless you really want to spend more time on this one, our audience will be more curious about the whole repeater, intruder, cook, and more.
Yes.
Don't want to rush you, but still time is moving. Time is running.
Okay, how much
we
it's
are
already been
almost
1 hour.
1 hour in because we took some time in the beginning. But don't rush, but we can cut some
Yes.
small parts maybe.
Yes, so going on. So we have quick searcher, right? Whenever you are coming across a request, you just click on this link finder and you will able to apply the link finder request right inside your editor. This is very useful, I think, whenever you are.
So it's tools that are offered offered by the community, and you added this button to invoke these tools, or we can invoke any tool.
It's not about the tool, it's about the regex, right? If I click on add, I can add name of this thing, like this is hidden fields HTML, name would be that. What I want to search, let's say this is test, this is going to search test, and these are like the capital. So this would be case, make it case sensitive, this will make it exact search, and this is regex. This is same as VS Code have.
Yeah.
And now I save it and we have the test. I click on test and it now search the test. It's like that.
Efficient.
Yes. So recently, like there is so Hexor, he shared this regex he used in the Chrome console. We can use this whole regex and copy paste in Grroxy, and it will work. You can just save it forever.
Is there a bulk import? Bulk import yet?
Bulk import for what?
Well, import many regex at once, or people are just expected to add pipe in between and make it one. Like there are a few Git repos that are a huge list of many interesting regex. And so if we can import all of them at once, that's nice. Otherwise, it's painful.
Yes, we can do that. So everything is an API in Cook, right? So everything is an API, and you can call that API endpoint using a simple Python or JavaScript and add the data to it. Even that's how I am doing it in the coding part.
Okay.
So everything I am creating, it's more like I am going with the extension approach, how extension are going to work in the future, and everything should work in extension mode, like that. And this is something, this thing have all the keyboard control and other things. And
nice. When
we go to JS, we also have the JS loose here. Now if I go to JavaScript files, I go to organize, click on JS, and this is the JS loose part, and it able to find the stuff right on the go. Nothing
And
found, nothing.
GS Luis is still regex based, or it's more like AST parsing?
So it's GSLoose is AST parsing. In the command line also GSLoose parse the AST tree and then apply the regex
Okay, but
based on user.
so this tool is run at Grroxy level, and also we can maybe interface other tools at our own will.
Yes, yes. So here in this bar, you will able to add your own tools or custom extension, basically,
Cool.
like that. Right. And okay, so this is about this sidebar secrets. You can see it just fill up the query for the GeoSluice, and you guys can try your own queries.
Nice.
But I believe that a custom ES3 Explorer would be really nice to have.
Yeah, but it's a huge feature, and that will be used by only few in the beginning. So maybe not the most like top priority, but would be totally nice to have for sure.
Yes, so now coming back to the repeater, and let's go to the intruder then. Okay, so this is our intruder. Same checks as same thing as repeater, but what's change here is the variables, and we can apply all these things. Currently it's used the range 1 to 1000, and in the back end it's using cook to apply these things. Currently I just select anything, add to editor, run the attack.
Whoosh.
And it's running on the target. Okay.
Would you mind
And
opening
it's completed, right?
while you are in screen share? Would you mind opening a quick tab on the cook GitHub repo? Because I have a funny thing to say about it.
Yes. So let me continue here for a bit, and we will go. So user will able to connect that what's happened in the intruder.
Okay.
So now,
Works.
if anyone want to base 64 encode the data, this will does it. So actually, we are running on the wrong target. This is going to take time.
It's not a local one.
Okay, now, yeah, this thing is faster. So if I add base 64 on this. So this already base65 encode this. Now if you want to hex encode this, just add the hex here. It should be by default selected to hex, but not working right now.
So it's really similar to either Agvertor or Cyberchef, but well, it's cook. But in
Yes,
for people that don't know this tool yet.
Yes. So it's the interface is, we can say that drag and drop is similar to Cyberchef, right? And word list. Now you can search for any word list around the sec list ssnode first db. Just click on it and command palette will appear. Now here you can search anything, let's say xss. So you can just select this, and this file, when I load it, it will run the xss.
Are the word list built inside Grroxy, or they are downloaded on first run, or
So they are handled by cook. So now this is the intruder. Now we can jump to the cook, and everything will connect there.
Go to the contributor section, please. On the top right. Yeah. No, don't move. Perfect. Don't move a thing. It's perfect. Cool. So you can see there is on the contributors Gitesh, so that is here tonight, but the other contributor of this lovely tool that helps to generate tons of word list content encoded in various ways. The second one is someone we already had in the chat, and well, not in the chat, in live, like another French guy that does some podcasts, some video educative content related to cybersecurity. And so while speaking with you about Grroxy, I learned that you were also working on Cook before that, and that a past guest, well, France is little, right? And the past guest already contributed to your tool. So I was like, the world is just way too small. Like the security world is just way too small.
So
Noraj is a friend of us that already came live some like maybe 6 months ago.
Okay.
So that was a funny one. Nice. Yeah. It all comes into pieces.
Yeah. So should I like give the demo of Cook or just the major things?
I think that an overview on what it does might be enough. And the demo is kind of the Grroxy relying on Cook for everything related to generation. But scrolling on GitHub might be enough.
So
might.
Maybe just a quick...
Okay, go for it.
Quick commands?
Yeah.
Okay, you mean explaining them here. Okay.
What do you prefer, man? What do you prefer? You're the one that knows how to defend what you worked on, so up to you.
I don't know.
Well, I really think that's one of the most worked on, one of the most well-written and illustrated README I've seen. So to me, that's as good as a live demo, for real. Like really rare GitHubs have such detailed README.
Yes. Thanks. So when you in the Cook, there is very simple logic. Just understand the basic and everything will fall in the places. If you divide it by something by comma, it will come to the next line. If you divide it by separate them, they will come as a join. Now usage is, let's say you want to create a RAR file. These are the three things that are initial part. These are the two things that are back part, and these are the things that you want to join with them. You just put it in all the permutation.
Gitesh, zoom in a bit. Like for some people, it will be really small. Like 1 or 2 zoom in.
It's not zooming much more.
Okay. Well, that's good enough.
I can actually.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Oh wow. Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So that's how it works, right? It's quite simple to understand once you understand these three things. Now, if you want to put the ranges, just put it and it will work. Quite simple. If you have a word list and you come to across some param names which are more like they have their initials to the whole params, like you come across a target and they add like, let's say BC underscore before every parameter they are using, right? In that case, what you can do is simply in the Cook, read that particular word list and add this, and this is the parameter that you defined here. The cool thing about Cook is there is no... Okay, we open the image. There is no rules, right? So all the parameters that you're seeing here, F, you can put it G and put here G and it will work. You can put here Z, put here Z and it will work, right? No need to worry that what we have to use F. Use anything. And not just single letters, use full words as well. Here you put the UTM, we put the UTM before the file name, right? So UTM will be attached to before the file name. As simple as that. Add line 1, line 2, line 3, and same thing here. Now this parameters, right? So here I explained that parameters can be used separately. So initially we did this integrative bug crowd and HackerOne, and these are the separation. We divide them in variables, start, separation, end, and this is the pattern that we put at the end. If you don't put the pattern at the end, there would be nothing generated. This is what we are generated. These are the ingredients and this is the pattern. So now these both things going to do the same. Now why we need the parameter approach then? We will explain them in the next part. Methods. So we'll come to this later. Let's go to the methods. Okay, here is the method. Okay, so we have like minus mu, and it will capitalize also. If I go to the terminal, cook help methods. So these are all the methods that anyone can apply to the cook, including sort. You can sort the whole list, split, replace, lead mode, smart join, and smart. You can read JSON value. If a file that has a JSON value, you can read that as well. And these are the URLs. If you want to extract something from URL, use this. And how to use it is quite simple. If we go here, clear, let's say cook admin, and let's say SU, and just upper. It does this. Now let's say add the separations again. Put any character, this thing, and exe file. Okay, or like this. Now what we are going to do is define the parameter. And here we say upper. Didn't work. Okay, we missed this. Yes, so you can see that admin SU and these first thing that we define this parameter, only this parameter is in the uppercase, like that. Damn it, man, it's get quite boring. If you want to do the MD5 encoding, it works the same way. Currently we are using parameter here and pattern is starting from here. If we put
I like how the word list generation tool can quickly be turned into some custom hashing algorithm, brute forcing implementation. Like you can quite easily say my word plus hash goes to MD5, goes to SHA, prefix, and goes to SHA again or something. Like it's way more convenient than creating your own hashcat rules or like not rules but like custom implem. Probably slower, but
like, you can double encode this as well. Let's say we put the param and now we base64 encode it, and now I MD5 encode this. So everything is getting overlapped. And if you want to like you need the base64 as well, and you need the param.md5. So now there are two separate things.
And how would you have like base64 colon haha colon DMD5, like to have the two hashing done on the same input, but then joined by a colon?
Yes, like, so basically currently we use the comma. I use the comma here. I don't know if this is big enough. Okay, yeah, so we use the comma. That's why we got all the sets here. Now we are going to separate this. So we are going to get the permutation of it, right? So we got the permutation, but this is not what we want. We want to join things by colon. So for simplify things, let's say here, and let's say extensions, right? .zip, .ref, and param and extension. So here we got all the combinations, and now we want to join them with colon. So actually I'm going fast because I think I consume quite a time already.
It's okay. But like, I think the cook demo is quite convincing in itself because it's just so cool to be able to create, generate content and chain filters. It's like, it's CyberChef, but CLI. So that's nice.
So I think it's not CyberChef because I don't think there is any other tool exists which can generate permutation and combination of the words. Right? Let's say you are on an...
Yeah, but they also have filters you do not have. Like, to be fair, it's similar use case, right? just at
How
various
do
places.
they have something like that? Did they have
For
the encoding
shuffle.
and all?
Well, yes and no, but they don't have the same filters. They probably have some that you do not have. Like they have some way to auto dig and try to determine the right filter and try to decode. But here you have encoding, you have processing, you have shuffling. It's not the same. It overlaps, but on different
What
use
I'm
case.
saying is,
Yeah.
I use Cook and CyberChef both. Right?
Yeah.
Because both have different use cases. If I got a string and I need to base 64 it, I go to the cyber code and put it and quickly decode it and copy paste
Okay.
it, right? Same thing that for Cook, I mostly play with the word list.
Okay. I think I would just do some dirty macro to have Cook do everything for me. Unless it really needs to be graphical and on the web, like, but otherwise.
So, and we can search word list also, Cook search API. And by just using the word list name, anyone can use the whole word list, right?
Nice.
And these things will be saved to the .catch folder in your system.
Okay, so now I have to add Cook default in Ubuntu as well. Like it just the demo is too convincing. I have to add it.
I didn't got it. You're
Sorry,
speaking too fast.
Speaking too fast now. Cook is not yet built in by default in our stream distribution, and so I will have to implement it because the demo is just looks too neat. I have to adopt this tool.
Okay, nice. Okay, one more thing is like if let's say anyone want to try something with, I wrote the comment somewhere, Cook or maybe Cook. Yeah, if anyone wants to directly base 64 based like basic authentication test, you can just use pipe it to the FUF.
You will have to paste this one in a shell so we can see it. Yeah,
you can just pipe it to the FUF. So here, Cook generate, use these two word lists, join them by colon, base 64 encode them, and in the FUF, this is the URL, and it pastes in the authorization header. We just fuzz it. So now everything that you change here, you can just fuzz using FUF, combining it with FUF.
nice.
Like that.
And right now, for the two word list, it goes AABBCC or ABACAD. Like, is it a cross product or linear?
You can control that. So for an example, I created these two files and this one.
Quick question, Jeff. Until, like, what is the maximum time today for you? Like, maybe you have to get back to work or something, or if we overflow, like, maybe even in 1 hour or 2, is it still okay for you?
N'importe quand.
Yeah, everything works? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Then let's take the time and go with the flow.
Yeah.
So in here, let's clear things out. I've created one parameter, file1, reading the file 1, which is AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD. This is file 2, 111, 222, 34, right? Like that. And let's try this without the append flag. What will happen is generate all the possible combination. Like it use the AAA first line with all the lines of this file 2.
Yep.
Now when I use with the append flag, append and 1. What is 1 here is the column, this thing. So this is 0 and this is 1. And append 1. And now it just go one by one.
Lovely.
like that. You can control it. I'm thinking to change this instead of append. We can cook. We can add something like cook file one or something. This character maybe for appending. So now cook automatically can connect that these things will be append.
Yeah, symbol to have like either append or cross product or cluster bomb or like similar maybe nice. But you can't have just like star or X to say multiply the one by the other because it's too common as a symbol, I guess. Like if you have like F1, X, F2 to say multiply or a star, it will prevent you from using this pattern as a keyword actually from a word. Like not having really well distinguished symbols would block you.
Okay.
So this one will work.
So basically using something different, right? Different symbol here.
Yeah, but something really unique. An emoji.
But the typing problem. We can't put equals to. I don't know. This comes to my line like this is connect these two files line by line. It's like that. And because this is like quite different, we can use cook it different, identify it, right? Otherwise, we can't identify these. So
Right.
Whatever. Like I'm not sure right now.
We don't have to decide now. Well, the cook demo was totally worth having.
I really admire it, Gitesh. It's awesome. It's just such a different way of making a CLI that I've seen. I think it's really clever. It's really powerful.
Thanks.
Really specific for the use case, but for sure it is.
Yeah, created the whole.
It's so extensible, right? Like it's like a whole DSL that's not like your typical, CLI flags at all. Which I think is great.
Yes. Also, you can save word list and word sets. So, list like archive. If you type in the cook archive, it just contains the whole word set, not just that, and you can modify it from the YAML files.
So it means that you can add more keywords to add specific tools to invoke and extend cook that way?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like if I have to use let's say I want to create a new variable, right? Cook. Using
Gitesh, sorry, I will have to skip this one, I think. No doubt that it can be done and extended, but we have to still split the time.
Yes.
But no doubt that it can be extended to the full.
Yes, previously I was thinking that how I will able to cover the time, but time is now, we already been like 1:30. Okay. This is the sitemap. We already gone through the only thing that you can make it site specific. Like if you are working on Google, just create for the Google, and if you are working on the YouTube, just create for YouTube and type here different filters and other kind of things.
Yep.
Now we are going to explore the filters part. I think that's
wait, stop for a second. We will have to decide, the three of us now, and maybe viewers as well. I think we'll have either to do the full Grroxy topic and do the deep dive now, like show some pieces of code and speak about the whole maintenance, update, dependency chain and all. And either we have choice. I think either do the whole Grroxy demo and mise demo, and we just gather another day next week or even later to do the deep dive together, or we do the full deep dive of Grroxy now and we keep the mise part to have the time later, because you were a bit scared to not last for a long time for the demo. We are more than enough, but we'll either have to skip one of the two topics or squeak. Yeah.
we can skip Grroxy for now. Like, let's go to the mise because it would be take quite a time.
Okay,
Right.
so we
I
do the
also want to see
two top
the
level. Yeah.
mice.
Okay, so we do the two demo top level demos of the tools and chat a bit, and maybe in the coming weeks we gather again to deep dive more on the code and the way it's done.
Sure.
Okay, Jeff works as well.
Till then, I will add the new features.
Perfect. Like
Yes, that could be.
let's see you in 2 months for the GA. Whoa, that was a wild screen unshare.
What happened?
Aggressive.